7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All systems go.
You're listening to Sudbury News Talk.
I want to show you something.
Stand by.
On the morning shift.
Anything
Could happen.
Sudbury News Talk on the morning shift.
It's a prize.
All right, welcome to Sudbury News Talk on the morning shift. I'm AJ Walsh. Glad to be here with you today. I'm glad you're with us. Thanks for being here. It's going to be a great day. It's the Tuesday, December the 13th, 2022. Lots to talk about here. And just going to put my mute on over there, something I thought I already did. So thanks for joining us on CKLU 96.7 FM. CKLU, that's on the radio, cklu.ca online. You can stream us. And if you go to cklu.ca and you click on the Radio Player Canada app, you download that. You can listen to us anywhere, anytime on your favorite device. So it's that easy. Also, Facebook Live on social media, YouTube Live, facebook.com/Sudbury News, youtube.com/Sudbury News. That's where you can catch us, and you can also watch us. You can comment, and we highly, highly encourage you to do that very thing, because this is your conversation on your station and on social media. We do this every day between 7:30 and 8:30 a.m., and it's basically a service that we do for the community. We have a community conversation. I'll facilitate that. I'll have guest facilitators, if you will, guests on the show, and we basically just keep the conversation going, and we try and have a good time while we do it, and also give stories the time of day. And Miles is saying can't find it on Facebook now. Oh, that's interesting. That's because we started a little bit late, Miles. So yeah. Actually, I have a little bit of an update for you on that. Good morning, Brian. Thanks for being with us. Good morning, David. Also, thanks for being with us this morning. Comments are working, obviously, on the screen. So we're looking forward to a really great show. Lots of headlines to get through, lots of news. And our deep dive today, we're going to do a deep dive, little follow-up. And also, good morning, Shane. Thanks for being with us. And we're going to do a little deep dive today, a little follow-up on a deep dive we did before, head into another little deep dive. I'm liking these daily deep dives. And speaking of deep dives, someone who's always willing to go there with me and giving an alternate view, which a lot of times I need, because I'll just go off in one direction and then forget there's many, many directions we could go, is my guest facilitator today on the show, Billy. Good morning, Billy. How you doing?
I'm good, thanks.
Good.
Always, sometimes I say, more often than not, we're on the same. So I feel got to grab those alternate perspectives and give them a run through.
Yeah, no, it's true, and you're very good at doing that. And it's almost like I guess, what is it, the devil's advocate kind of thing? You're really good at just saying, okay, but also, did we think about this angle? And people really do appreciate that. And I, as well as me, I appreciate that more than you know. So looking forward to a great show this morning. Good morning, Julia. Thanks for being with us. Let's get right into stuff. We're going to get to the weather and get, one little sports blurb out of the way, little announcement, and then we'll be right off to the headlines today, which there's many of them. We got to get through them. And then hopefully we can have enough time for our deep dive. And yes. Yeah, lots of guitars there, Shane. That's the studio. You're welcome to come jam anytime. We could definitely facilitate a jam, too, at some point. We'll be back with the weather and some sports right after this. Sudbury Weather, brought to you by SudburyWeather.ca. And I'm just getting this template back up here. Not sure what happened, but I got it going now. SudburyWeather.ca lands on our Sudbury.news page. You can check it out. It's always a work in progress. We're trying to make it as good as we can each and every day. Make it a little better. Your suggestions are more than welcome. Currently, it is sunny. It is minus 13, but it feels like minus 20. And Billy knows that for sure because he just went out to put the garbage out and he felt that minus 20 feeling. And so did I on the drive into the office today. Today, clear, becoming a mix of sun and cloud. This morning, the wind is 15 kilometers, so low. High of minus 7. The wind chill, though, minus 18 this morning. Minus 12 this afternoon. UV index always low at 1. Tonight, increasing cloudiness. Clear this evening. Wind becoming northeast 20 kilometers before morning. Low of minus 11. Wind chill minus 10 this evening and minus 19 overnight. Clearing this morning on Wednesday, It'll be clearing in the morning. The wind will be northeast 20 kilometers. High of minus 7. The wind chill will feel like minus 19, basically. More of the same, like today. In the morning, and then minus 13 in the afternoon. So 1 degree difference forecast for tomorrow. Long range, or the 7-day forecast. Clearing tomorrow, mix of sun and cloud, high of 7. Thursday, chance of flurries, minus 2. Probability of precipitation is 40%, chance of flurries. Friday, 60% chance of flurries. High is 0, so very, very mild. Saturday, mild again, minus 1 predicted. 30% chance of flurries. 30% chance of flurries again on Sunday. High of minus 3. Very mild for this time of year. And this is going into almost, this is over the halfway point of December we're talking here. So this is very mild for the time of year. Our satellite, very, very clear. Clouds on one half of the screen and clearing on the other half, and we're on the clear side. So that's always a good thing. And that's your weather, brought to you by SudburyWeather.ca. We'll be back with a little, not a little announcement. It's a huge announcement, but it's just one announcement concerning the Sudbury Wolves. We'll be back right after this. All right, so the announcement is Quinton Musty has been selected for the top prospects game on January 25th in Langley, BC. Congratulations to the Wolves forward, Quinton Musty, on being named to compete in the 2023 Kubota CHL/NHL top prospects game on January 25th. The Canadian Hockey League announced yesterday, I guess, the 15 OHL players invited to compete there and slated basically, let's see here. There's showcases the top 40 CHL players eligible for the 2023 NHL draft from across the Western Hockey League, Ontario Hockey League, Quebec Junior League. The 40 players were identified via a survey conducted with the NHL's 32 teams. The list of the 15 OHL players selected to compete includes 9 forwards, 5 defensemen, 1 goaltender, with Kitchener Rangers emerging as one of the 7 CHL teams to send multiple players to the event, represented by defenseman Hunter Bachuzevich and forward Carson Reckhoff. Well, I hope I pronounced those names okay. Just doing it on the fly. Anyways, congratulations to Quinton Musty. He's on his way to the top prospects game on January the 25th in Langley, BC. That's where my brother-in-law lives, his wife. And maybe I should get to go to the game. I could visit my brother, not my brother-in-law. My brother lives there, and my sister-in-law is there. So that's your sports update brought to you by SudburySports.com. Everything Sudbury Sports brought to you by that Sudbury Sports guy, Randy Pascal. Will be back with all the headlines, Billy, and much, much more right after this. Oh yeah, and we're here. We're back, and so there's lots going on in the city, Billy. What kind of things have been on your mind lately? Anything kind of cross your mind with city things going on, or are you trying to keep yourself just kind of waiting for this show to talk about them, or do some things kind of cross your mind from time to time to
Well,
do with the
you know,
city?
I think what keeps me on track is this show because it kind of
Oh,
forces me to, check out the headlines and I think do what I kind of start to realize might be a bit of a civic duty to pay attention to local politics. So I feel I've improved to some degree in that manner where I'm, at least trying to like follow what's going on, formulate a position, you know, and
yeah.
keep an open mind that it's a shifting position game for a while for me until I get way deep down at the bottom of the issue.
You know what? You kind of just kind of echoed my sentiment. If it wasn't for this doing this show each and every day, I would never be on top of these, topics and issues that are going on, not only in our community, but in our country and in our world too. Uh, but a lot of these local stories sometimes just seem to be, not given as much merit or time of day unpacked. We don't get a lot of chance to question certain things that are done. But yeah, this gives us that opportunity, and we kind of have to be on top of it because if we're going to talk about it, and I think a lot of people who tune in each and every day feel the same. That's what I get from comments when I get personal messages from people. That's their sentiment as well. It's like, oh my goodness, you guys
Mhm.
actually talk about things that are going on and not just give the news and then move on. Give a talking point and then go on and leave it at that. So Jerome saying good morning, dynamic duo. I think he
Oh,
coined that
thanks,
phrase
Jerome.
back in the
Yeah.
day.
But
Um,
yeah, people are super busy, and I think the international headlines tend to, grab people more than local ones because they feel like those ones are screaming at them more through the media and feel,
yeah.
they have that much more sense of intensity, I guess.
And here we like to give the time of day to local issues, but there's also, I've noticed, you also have to include the larger stories from Canada and the province and even the world too, that are affecting us locally as well. And I think some of those, I don't think we even have a national platform where we really, in Canada at least, get to discuss these issues. And so at least if we can do it, and we only have an hour, but at least we do it a little bit on the show in the morning. And speaking of that, we have some kind of more wider stories along with the headlines today going along with our local stories. And we'll start with this first one here, which I thought was interesting, to say the least. I guess that's the only word I can come up with. The headline says, climate change affecting Christmas tree farms across Canada, experts say. The
So what's
effects
the deal?
of the effects of climate change are taking a toll on
The
Christmas
weather?
tree farms. Yeah, across Canada. So, yeah, with one forestry expert and head of the Canadian Christmas Tree Association saying the sector that's already undergoing shifts will need to adapt. The festive trees take 8 to 12 years to reach the size most people look for, and the youngest seedlings are particularly vulnerable to climate risks, says Richard Hamlin, head of the Forest Conservation Sciences Department at the University of BC. Guarantee you he's got a PhD. And much of the province has experienced prolonged drought and extreme heat over the last 2 summers, and the seedlings have shallow root systems that don't reach beyond the very dry layers of the soil near the surface, he explained. So, yeah, so that's the reason.
Well,
There you have it. It's done.
I
You
guess I
don't.
have a hard time. I like to hear what the. I guess I was just looking into, the whole kind of carbon dioxide issue where it's like that's what they want to reduce. But it's
Yeah.
still kind of fuzzy to me why that is one of, like, that's something that
Hmm.
promotes, vegetation growth.
Yeah.
And I did a little bit of a look into it, and I haven't really come across anything very convincing. But again,
Yeah.
I would.
And is that the only place they grow Christmas trees? Is in BC, or like they don't grow them anywhere else?
I'm not sure. Interesting story to keep an eye on.
Yeah. I think maybe we need to diversify the places we grow our Christmas trees from now on. If one particular area is affected more than the other, right? So, but yeah, and that's the thing. You got to watch for things with stories like that because they can be politicized, and certain groups can just take hold of it. If that happened 50 years ago because of a
Hmm.
drought, or 100 years ago, the headline wouldn't be the same, right? It would be like, well, we've
Right. Yeah. Climate
experienced,
change will have a completely different meaning. It's like, yeah,
yeah,
well, climate does change. So,
yeah. We experienced 3 years of drought this year, so Christmas trees will be slow coming, and we're hoping for better weather in the future. Would be the sentiment 50, 100 years ago, but now it's a little different. And we're going to be talking about headlines and what they say and what they mean and who's behind the headlines and maybe why they're worded certain ways today in our deep dive. Looking forward to that. We've got a new cow. The old cow that used to be at Anderson Farm now has a permanent home there. New home for Northern Maple cow. The cow, Northern Maple, has a new home. The life-size replica bovine will be at the Anderson Farm. Now, this replica, you can actually milk it. So it has udders and whatever, and you can milk this replica cow, which I think is pretty interesting, right? For the kiddies to see where milk comes from without actually having to milk a real cow. Well, they can get the next best thing to it, milking this
well, that's pretty cool.
ceramic or whatever it's made of cow at the Anderson Farm, which is looking pretty good these days. There's a little museum there, gift shop. So Jerome
Yeah.
says he truly appreciates what we're doing, which I appreciate that comment. Thank you very
Mhm.
much. Uh,
They have music performances in the summer too, I think, at Anderson Farm.
yeah, they have all kinds of
Yeah.
really great things going on. Yeah, no, it's really great. It's it's a great experience. It's again where people can see what an old farm used to be like, or a modern farm, like somebody's, not a commercialized farm where everything's automated, but when it's hands on and you do it old school, that's a really
Hmm.
cool experience. Anderson Farm, and they have
They're
events like
museums
you
unto
said.
themselves.
Yeah, exactly. So Miles chimes in about the Christmas tree story. He says biblically climate change has always been prophesied, especially in the end times. Definitely, yeah. There's you tell that to the people of Sodom and Gomorrah, right? Sure, they didn't expect that. Or people in the times of Noah. That was a big climate change instance. They took place then. If you know, if you read the story, we should have told them there's climate change. They wouldn't have all suffered the consequences.
Well, they should have paid more taxes to a cartel.
Exactly. I like that. I remember there was a meme with Justin Trudeau by a sign for gas prices, and it was low, and it said climate change. We need to do something about climate change. And then the next picture was the gas prices went up like 50 cents a liter, and he goes, "Oh, it's better now. Climate change is better now." All right, so Cambrian business students reach podium at provincial event. It's pretty cool. Sudbury College extends winning streak at Ontario College's marketing competition. So yeah, so a few northern colleges got together and made teams and did like different marketing exercises in front of judges and we came away with some pretty cool awards. So congratulations to all those who took place in that event. And that's my good friend Kim Donaldson there in the picture with one of the winning students. Congratulations there.
You know what I think is underutilized in our society is X prizes. You know, it's kind of like that kind of thing where they have competitions. It's like, here's something, everybody try to come up with the best, you know, like a solution for it. And what if the city put out, you know, half a dozen little X prizes? Here's this problem. Everybody
try and fix
submit
it.
your idea. Yeah.
But you know what? Yeah, because it really doesn't take much to do that. And think of all of the innovation that would come out of a bunch of contests like that.
Yeah.
They
That was
do
a
have
thing,
them,
like,
right?
A few years
Yeah.
ago, they had
Yeah.
them pretty often. I think Elon Musk, that was his, I remember, I don't know if he came on the scene more then, but wasn't that like an X Prize, like SpaceX?
Yeah, who
could
can
take
make a rocket? Yeah.
and launch it and then land it and relaunch it again or something.
Yep. Exactly. So my rocket unfortunately didn't do so well. But you're right, that was an X Prize and SpaceX, right? Kind of neat that it has that name too.
Mhm.
Yeah, the problem is though, like let's say someone said in Sudbury, let's try and fix our potholes, let's have an X Prize, and someone would come up with the solution, but then all of the corruption that's done through construction, it wouldn't be able to happen anymore because the solution would be pretty simple.
Well, I don't know. See, if you did it very publicly, and then like people like, here's my pothole filler. Look how amazing this stuff is, or look at this road that I can create. You know, it's going to last 25 years.
Yeah.
And you could somehow demonstrate that.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's how you fight corruption is basically through education. And like once more people, you know, like kind of stand in a row with their arms crossed, going,
Yeah.
people kind of back off from it.
Yeah, that might be one of our follow-up kind of themes to the follow-up of one of the deep dives we had last week. So here's a story from Sudbury Star. Demographics and geography work against conservatives. So this is talking about how the election in the runoff in the States, basically, it affects conservatives in Canada. We may not have time really for that, but I definitely encourage everyone to read up on that for sure. This will be our deep dive today. Speaking of Elon Musk, this is the headline: Elon Musk booed off stage at Dave Chappelle's show. Have you seen that at all, Billy?
I did see the clip. I don't think that headline is quite accurate. Because,
Well, don't go there yet. No, you're a little ahead. You're a little ahead of us. I wanted to really see how the media covered it. Yeah, I know that's you're spoiling it. It's okay though. It's fine. I spoil things all the time.
I got a good picture of him. It looks like he's really contemplating the booing that just happened.
He's like, should I just go to Canada and take up the medical assistance in dying? Just call it a day and just say that's it. I'm done. No one loves me anymore. Elon Musk joined Dave Chappelle on stage Sunday in San Francisco. And you see, I changed the headline at the top, but some booed. So I did a little, they had, but many booed or most people booed or something like that. But after I watched the clip, spoiler alert again, here I'm joining you with this one. It didn't sound like most people booing to me. So the headlines, yeah, you just got to wonder sometimes with headlines. Anyways, we'll go back to that for our deep dive today. The province.
But it wasn't San Francisco. I should point that out. Oh, we're going to go back to it. I won't.
We're going to go back.
Save
Yeah.
some stuff for that.
Yeah. We're going to have lots of time to talk about that. Look at some other points of views on that. Because I think a lot of people are weighing in. I talked to a lot of people about it, not to steal the thunder about it. I say, what do you think? And they just say what they are hearing from one side in the media, that's what's going on. And I'm like, where did you get that information from? I know you got it from CNN. There's no doubt in my mind anywhere you got your information from CNN because I can tell by the answers people give where they get their news from. You definitely didn't try to look into it on your own and try to really kind of see it for what it is. That's for sure. Province OK's 19.87 million plan to build 38 rehab beds in Sudbury. When I first read that headline, I thought, oh, good. We're getting a rehab center here too, just like North Bay. Oh, good. But it's actually just an extension of St. Joe's Hospital, which is good too. I'm not saying it's not good. It's good. I'm not going to, I just thought it was the next step to the, the safe injection site that we have here.
Right. They would both be good.
Yeah, exactly. Be good if we can have the other kind of rehabilitation center too for people that are struggling with opioid addiction, just like they have.
I didn't realize that so many people were staying in the Clarion Hotel, that this was kind of like why they built this, because they need to move these people out of the hotel.
Yeah.
And,
Pierre Bonhomme, who's on the show quite regular, who's just recovering now from surgery, wish him all the best in his recovery. He was working there at the Clarion with the seniors and stuff. So yeah, they were using that as a place before this came along. Now they'll be able to now move out of there and into here, which is great. Better facility for sure. Corner stores. Are you a fan of corner stores, Billy?
I love them. I love convenience. That's their middle name. Yeah.
Now, convenience stores, they've changed a lot over the years, and many of them have gone out of business. It's not an easy way to make money. A lot of people steal from you, and and there's no profit margins really, and whatever. But this store on Madison, I don't know if you're familiar with that one at all, on Madison Drive in New Sudbury. Been there a few times. More than 60 years, Jim Lanzo's welcoming convenience store has been a landmark in Sudbury. And so they're celebrating over 60 years of being in business as a convenience store. So my hat's off for sure. Especially locally run, not huge franchise, kind of thing. It's where you go in, they know you, you know them. How's the kids doing?
Yeah, it's probably like understated what a cohesive element they are to a community, right? They're like a place where a bit of a hub.
Yeah, exactly. Love convenience stores. Obviously a magical moment or a magical time in our childhoods, usually for most people that I talk to, going into a convenience store where you get the 1 cent candies at one time and then turn to 5 cent candies and, whatever, just magical, a magical experience, convenience stores. So
great memories.
Awesome memories. And now we're big kids, and so we still get our candies. Senators amend online streaming bill to ban CBC sponsored content. The public broadcaster use of sponsored content has drawn opposition from advocacy groups. I say go ahead and allow them to advertise. Go ahead, allow them to accept commercial money and government money. Both. Go ahead. Because that's the main goal anyways, is to make all media the same anyways, because you have the government now supporting commercial media to begin with anyways on the other side. So they're allowed to advertise and get government money to support them. So what's the difference? It's just coming at it from two different angles. So the government at one time thought, media is in trouble, so let's give them money to help them. Right? The media's...
That seems quite fair.
Yeah.
I was surprised by your position because I the first thing I thought, I was like, and there's probably going to be like a bit of a dangerous sort of transition period where people have been sort of, conditioned to think that the CBC is an unbiased, and if they're able to have these news stories, the advertisements that look like news stories, which is what the whole bill's about, right?
For sure.
It's these things, it's kind of like that gray area where it's presented kind of like news, but it's...
Yeah.
But
there's
the news is kind of like that already. So.
Yep. The CBC isn't unbiased? I thought the CBC was unbiased. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna go
Isn't it?
with it's
Oh,
hard to get a perfectly unbiased news source, so let's
oh,
go with
okay.
that.
Okay. Um, Good answer. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's the way I
I
look
mean,
at
they
it. I
get their
look
money from someone, and usually where you get your money from is you're a little bit softer on them.
exactly. So the way I look at it is government wants state-run media everywhere, not just CBC. So give it to them. Just let them all have their state-run media. State-run media is media that's run from state. If you pay the payroll, you're running it, because if the money keeps coming and you do something to stop the money, it means they're not giving you money anymore, which means they don't have a say anymore. But they're funding all media outlets in Canada to the tune of billions of dollars. So why not just allow the CBC to be like everyone else, and then all media is state run? Just have all media state run, and then we're done with it. Because we got to get there anyways. Eventually, that's where we're heading. So why not just let it go, get it there quicker? Um, Big demand for local artist horror themed works. So Rob Sichetto hosted a book signing event at the Gory Hole. I always thought that name was interesting. A horror themed retail store downtown in Sudbury on Saturday, which he hawked the latest print of his Cape Fear power struggle graphic novel. So he came through Learning Initiative. You remember that, Billy? Or you knew that? You were aware of that?
I don't know if I remember that in particular, but
Yeah.
I've known him through the years, and he's always been crazy inspiring with his work ethic,
Oh yeah.
and
Great artist too.
just a
Like
great
the
guy.
zombie
Yeah.
portraits. You could do a zombie portrait of you. It's pretty cool. So I just wanted to say, Diane, good morning too. I know you commented that a little while ago. And someone's chiming in on YouTube here. Looks like it might be. Yeah, I have a hard time reading the YouTube, so I'm sorry if I don't get the name. But do we really want the government controlling what and what not is said on the media? Well, they already do. So that was my point. So they don't already control everything, but they're heading there quickly. I'm just saying, just get it over with already and just do it. Just totally take it over. Allow all media just to be government funded and corporate funded. Let them make as much money as they can and give us whatever the government tells them to put out, because that's where it's heading anyways. So just hurry it up, because it's been chipped away at for so many years that
It would be great if we could have like a little controlled, control that thing so that it happens for only like 6 months, but it's like just
mhm.
just to give everyone a taste of like what that would be like, and then I think you could,
Well, it's like if you had a
you know,
time machine back in
I
the
think that's how
40s.
social engineering kind of works,
Yeah,
and then you see like a pendulum swing hard in the other direction,
yeah,
which, is a little bit more in the, a little more comfortable for freedom loving people.
yeah. If you would have put some of these protester hippie people back in the 60s in a time machine and showed them our time, they would, I don't know what they would have thought. Like you said, when it happens gradually, you don't really see the changes and things that are going on. But if you actually quicken it up and, like you said, just let it go for 6 months, and people will then see like what, you know, what could actually happen if it was just one-sided or what. But it's been getting that way. It's been going down that road. Right now, CBC only has one side on any of their panels. There's only one point of view. It's never, they speak for the other side. CNN, CBC, they speak for the other side. They don't have someone from the other side there to talk. They talk for the other side. They say the other side is this, and that's what we're going to get to in our deep dive. City hands out $560,000 to arts organizations in the city. Are you a fan of that? Yes or no, Billy?
Yeah, money
Okay.
well spent.
Okay.
A couple of reasons. One, I just want to say because local. So I mean, it's not just to those 32 organization. That money circulates locally. So a lot of people will get to the benefits of that money. But also, when you break it down, what does that work out to per taxpayer per year? My math is pretty bad in the morning sometimes, but I'm thinking that's under $5 a year.
Okay, I'll go with you on that.
Yeah, I don't know, 40, 50 cents a month.
Yep.
So when you think of the benefits and how, art is like very consumed, but not very compensated for in our society. So
I think you're right. Yep.
I think that's just a good thing.
Hard to make a go at it just if you're just on your own. So it's good to see that there's support there. However, I'm always thinking of other ways other than tax dollars to make things happen, including the arena. Like we had yesterday, Shane was talking about, instead of taking tax dollars for the arena, like, why can't we come up with other ways? And we've said that on the show many, many times, like, let's come up with another way. I know there's another way we can do things. Don't always have to be waiting for the government to help us with those things. Speaking of the new arena, so there's an issue with parking. Did you know that downtown, Billy?
You know what? That blindsides me.
So parking is one of the issues here. A mother calling for more accessible parking at Sudbury Arena. This is on CBC. If these prepaid people have mobility issues, then I'm good with that. That's fine. But that is one of the parking lot that's closest, like I said, to real accessible entrance. So, again, they just want to make sure that there's parking available for those that need it, accessible parking. There's enough, and then that way they're taken care of, which I agree with. There needs to be just parking for everyone, period, but especially people that need accessibility, and that's an ongoing thing. Okay, so before our deep dive, there's a follow-up to our last deep dive. We talked about medical assistance and dying. Laws are a bridge too far for some, including doctors. So a candidate in the midst of the contentious debate about whether medical assistance and dying laws are expanding far too fast. And there's a lot of statistics in here in this story talking about this, that this particular doctor said he had a hard time back in the day doing it. His first patient that he had to offer this service to really affected him. But since then, he's gone on, and the deaths have been, increasing at a rapid rate. There's 60 doctors just in the Champlain region. 80 have signed up to provide MAID just across the Champlain region alone. And that's growing steadily over the years, and increasing includes family doctors who want to assist patients to have their that they've known for years. Now, some of the problems with that are that there was a man, unfortunately, who just chose to do that because he was going to be homeless, and so people around the world heard of his plight, set up a GoFundMe page, raised 60 grand for him, and he no longer wanted to partake in that procedure. And then there's many, many, many other examples of that. So I would encourage everyone to read that story. It's a piece that's promoting it, actually, even though the headline says many are looking to put the brakes on it. It's actually promoting it, saying it is a good thing. So just to let you know, that's the angle of the story. But then they show all of the people that wished they, were glad that they never went through with it, basically. And there are
Great
many
piece
of them.
Journalism, having a little bit of both sides there.
Both sides, for sure. But the spin is that it's the doctor they're mainly highlighting is for it. He's just thinking it's going too fast. It's just going too fast. Like you said, we need to kind of let everyone be prepared for it and not let it, come out so fast, because then everyone's shocked. He likes the idea, but people just got to warm up to the idea that doctors are going to help a great portion of our population assist them in dying. So,
yeah. I mean, where I stand right now, we talked about this before, is I'm not against that service, but you can see how these things get misused, or it goes down like a slippery slope where that is the solution instead
Yeah.
of like the very last resort.
Exactly. So, anyways, we'll be talking more about that as it comes. Coming out in March, there's going to be a lot more people that are going to, qualify for this, and a lot more people taking advantage of it. And so Karen was saying, yeah, that you can raise money through different lotteries like Chase the Ace, and in Newfoundland, they have Jig the Joker, which I think is kind of cool name. Anyway, so this was the Elon Musk booed off the stage at Dave Chappelle's show. I just want to refresh this page because the CNN coverage is on this here. Where is it? Right here. So let's see if we can listen in on this, the CNN coverage of it, first of all.
This was at a comedy arena in San Francisco. Comedian Dave Chappelle brought out Elon Musk on stage, and Musk was booed for several minutes. We'll get you to respond, but watch this.
I don't want to hurt you. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for the richest man in the world. Elon. Hey, Dave. Controversy, buddy. Weren't expecting this, were you?
I couldn't hear Dave there.
Okay, but why? Okay, he has time to go to a Dave Chappelle show. He's like running Twitter. Tesla's mad he's not there enough, but sorry, I digress.
Yeah.
What do you make?
And we were, is it booze? I'm sure some people were happy, but did it sound like mostly booze to you? And that was in Silicon Valley. That's his hometown.
Yeah, I mean, I think, in a way, it's like the power. I mean, we're talking about, Joe Biden not caring that much about Twitter. I mean, that actually is the power of Twitter, to change how Elon Musk is seen very, very rapidly. And I think, he's been tweeting essentially a lot of right-wing politics. And so when he shows up in San Francisco at a comedy show, tough reception.
So that's how you see the coverage is from.
Hey there, it's CNN.
From CNN, right? So the one says, why is Elon Musk even doing something other than just working at the, why is he able to go to a show? Shouldn't he be busy? I digress. Right off the bat, it's like putting him down. I wonder how many companies she runs, or what, is she able to go out and see a show when she's got to be an anchor and maybe be go home and have duties at home and things, like she's able to go out and do things? What, he can't go to a show? That's his hometown, for crying out loud. He can't take a half an hour and go to a Dave Chappelle show when you're the richest man in the world? So anyways, that comment right off the bat. And then the guy goes, oh, there were some cheers. Mostly booze though, right? You heard mostly booze too. And then the guy goes on to say Joe Biden doesn't care about Twitter. Joe Biden doesn't care about Twitter. Anyways, just a lot of stuff in there I just took exception with on the angle. Did you hear booze in there, Billy?
I think I heard a couple boos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I think
guess
he makes the comment. Dave Chappelle says something to the effect of, I think some of the people you fired are here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it's probably true. A lot of Twitter employees would be in San Francisco. And we'll get to that right away with the actual coverage. This is the Canadian coverage of it. Similar.
A surprise, the world's richest man, I should say, made a surprise appearance on stage at the Dave Chappelle show and was met with a chorus of boos from the crowd. Chappelle tried to joke his way through it, but the loud jeers continued. Musk, for his part, tweeting the experience was a first for him, but says it was 90% cheers and 10% boos.
So, with all due respect, that's what I heard. I don't know about you. I heard about maybe I would give 20% boos and 80% cheers is what I heard. So, that again, like why was the media so, and she didn't even play the clip. She didn't even actually allow Canadians to hear it. She just told you, right? She just told you there was booze and showed Dave Chappelle picture there and a little bit of background noise and didn't allow you to actually hear for yourself and told you he was booed off the stage. So if that's the only news you saw, you'd think, hey, you're at the water cooler. Hey, did you hear Elon Musk got booed off the stage? That's what most of our society is like. So now we're going to just compare that to just a little different coverage on the same type of topic. And we'll just check back right after this. It's our deep dive today. A lot of comments. Probably won't be able to get all the comments on just because, and it's at the end of the show always. We'll be right back.
Under previous management, but are now being exposed by Elon Musk, who just bought.
We'll go back here.
Barry Weiss of Substack began posting part 2 of the Twitter files. Now, these are assessments of internal documents from Twitter that have been hidden under previous management, but are now being exposed by Elon Musk, who just bought the company. So first, Musk last week gave a trove of documents to Matt Taibbi of Substack and now to Barry Weiss. Weiss is unpacking all of this right now live on Twitter in a Twitter thread. What she has revealed so far confirms what many suspected but none knew for certain, which is that Twitter routinely censored prominent critics of the Biden administration, did so in secret without telling anyone and with no factual justification whatsoever. This is known as shadow banning. Twitter did it all the time. Now, publicly, they denied doing it. People who were being shadow banned suspected something was up, but they didn't know. Now, officially, Twitter's chief legal officer, chief censor at Twitter, Vijaya Gadde, a woman who was rewarded by the Biden administration for her work on their behalf, said that, quote, "We do not shadow ban, and we certainly don't shadow ban based on political viewpoints or ideologies." That's what she said. That was a lie. And the documents that Barry Weiss is posting right now, including screenshots of Twitter's internal censorship tools, prove that it was a lie. One of Twitter's targets for shadow banning was a Stanford professor, a physician PhD called Jay Bhattacharya, one of the most impressive people in American medicine, someone we've had on this show many, many times. There was no justification for censoring Jay Bhattacharya, except he was one of the authors of the Great Barrington Declaration, which very early in the so-called pandemic infuriated our country's public health establishment, including Tony Fauci, by opposing COVID lockdowns. Jay Bhattacharya has spent his career studying the health effects of various policies on vulnerable populations. So he knew that COVID lockdowns would harm children, and he said so. That has turned out to be true. But Twitter, doubtless at the request of the authorities, shadow banned Professor Bhattacharya of Stanford for saying this out loud. They prevented his tweets from trending, and that meant that most users could not see his tweets, though they were factual. Twitter also shadow banned Fox's Dan Bongino. According to Weiss, Twitter at one point slapped Bongino with a search ban. That made it impossible for users of Twitter to find tweets by Dan Bongino. Because they were inaccurate? No. Because they were accurate. That was the crime. That's always the crime. They never punish you for lying. They only punish you for telling the truth. Twitter also flagged Charlie Kirk's account with a do not amplify tag. Weiss reports that, quote, "the group that decided whether to limit the reach of certain users was the Strategic Response Team, Global Escalation Team, or SRT GET. The team often handled up to 200 separate cases a day." Another group within Twitter called Site Integrity Policy Escalation Support, notice the bureaucratic handles here, it's like the military, that group also handled shadow banning. And that group included Gadde, as well as Twitter executives Yoel Roth and Parag Agarwal, who ran the company. None of this has been previously known. It was never disclosed to the public. Weiss's thread is ongoing. It's being updated as we speak, and of course, we'll bring you more information as we get it.
Well, there you go.
Barry Weiss of Substack began posting part 2 of the Twitter files. Now, these are assessments.
And escape. There we go. So yeah, so I just want to include Karen's comment here. No one with that much money, no one should have that much money, basically Elon Musk. Don't say anything about CNN or CBC when you show Tucker Carlson, who used to work at CNN. I like that comment. That's I think it's a pretty common worldview, and that's why I appreciate that. I think you're speaking for many people there. And there's a reason why I showed Tucker Carlson, because I showed CTV in that case. I showed CNN, and I showed Tucker Carlson. So none of the other places are showing all three.
Yeah.
Right. So
Well, the Tucker was very informative. Like you get quite a few takeaways of how Orwellian Twitter was operating. Like that is pretty much right out of 1984. Where you control, you take away people's voices and you don't let people have their, see people who have opposing views. It's not so dangerous when you live in a communist country and you know the government's doing it, but a lot of people don't really know that the government has these incestuous relationships with these, big tech and a lot of the media organizations.
Yeah, exactly. And I just wanted to, again, right, those, like, I was up for dinner with friends and I was talking to you about that, Billy, and their organization is going to stop using Twitter because of Elon Musk. Like, but why? And so, he fired all the people at Twitter. Okay. He's conservative. Maybe you're going to stop using Twitter because he's conservative. He's allowing people to be on Twitter. Well, isn't that what it's supposed to be in the first place? Social media, social, in our all-inclusive world, everyone's all-inclusive. Well, all-inclusive except for one segment of the population, obviously. And if you break laws, there's already laws in place. If you break laws, if you're saying things that are bona fide hate speech, there's laws in place for that. So why do you need social media laws on top of our already laws that are out there that can prosecute someone for hate speech? So that's where we go, that was hate speech. Well, okay, was it hate speech according to the law, or did it hurt your feelings, or was it politically incorrect, or like what are you talking about here? So Elon Musk, right? He opened it up now, and many people take exception because they believe that certain people should be shut down and other people should be raised up. And that's just a point of view. Even if is my point of view right, if I think you need to be shut down because it's not my point of view, whenever is that right? When is that ever right?
Yeah. I'm not too sure. I don't know. I feel like it's one of life's little tests sometimes to see if you'll become the monster you're fighting. You're gonna do all these things that are kind of unfair, and maybe immoral because the other person is definitely literally Hitler. So I'm going to do everything I can to stop it, and
So
and
again,
then you become the tyrant yourself.
Yeah, exactly. So Miles is saying that Tucker Carlson's a known racist because he's had racist rants. So I want to see those. Would appreciate it. Anything I've ever seen, it's never been that, because I do watch a lot of everything. And I've never seen that. I've seen how others say that he does and then don't show the clips. They say Tucker Carlson yesterday was going on a racist thing, and they don't show what he said. And they just say he was racist. Or they show a clip out of context. And then I'm like, what? That's not what he meant. That's not what he said. So to me, that's what I'm getting when I'm looking at everything. But I'm open. Maybe there was one segment or a rant that I never heard that he is racist. I don't know. From that clip, though, that we just saw.
I think that's a common theme is a lot of people have this perception, and I think even myself included kind of fall into that, where it's like I'll hear things over and over in the media and I'll think, yeah, that's probably true. But then eventually, that it'll, like when you do a deeper dive into it and you get another perspective of it, it's like, oh, well, this guy's a threat to that side. So that's why they're
for sure. And I'm really glad we're having this conversation because Miles, he's also a guest on the show as well. So I really appreciate that. And if that is true, and you do have YouTube, first of all, if he's saying something racist on YouTube, YouTube would take him off. Period. Anything racist on YouTube is taken off. So, but if you can find that on YouTube and let me know, I'd appreciate that because, and then maybe I think it's good for a discussion. I think a lot of people are called things these days. Just called them, and I think it needs to be discussed. I think, are they really? Is it really? Let's look at that, and I'm open to that, and I really do. I'm glad we kind of got to that point at this point in the show, because it really does show our points of view of others. I remember a lot of people say, "Oh, did you see that on Tucker?" Well, I can't even take him seriously. What did you just hear that clip though? He was only talking about facts. So do you not hear facts because of where it's coming from? Because he does a really good job in journalism. He's one of the best journalists I've ever seen in my entire life, especially today. When you have all these points of view, he does his best to kind of get facts. And if he's talking about CNN, for which he did work before, he was actually fired from CNN. And I remember the time too. Jon Stewart was on CNN. Remember that? Jon Stewart came on CNN and basically schooled them, him and his partner, and said, "You guys are a joke, blah, 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 blah." And at the time, it was. And because Jon Stewart was Tucker Carlson back in the day. And if you look at the old Jon Stewart.
Establishment, yeah.
Exactly. If you look at
he was the one pulling up all these clips of people saying they said this, but look, here's the clip,
Exactly. Jon Stewart used to do the very same thing that now Tucker has kind of taken the baton and continues with it. And I could show that, not a problem. I mean, but anyways, opinions about which people in the news are who or what. I think we need to be the one who makes up our own minds, and that's where we get to at the end of here. And we're all in the same boat there. I've never stole away the fact that you can make up your own mind. You're not doing that to me. And this is the healthiest we can be if we all understand that. We're sharing information. Information isn't dangerous. Actions are dangerous. And breaking laws are dangerous. That's where we come in with these thought crimes and things that are kind of come up in the future. Or predestined crime. You were going to commit a crime, so we're charging you with that. That's where things are going. If you look at the road we're on. So like let's just look at the facts. You take a deep breath. You don't jump to conclusions. If your emotions are running high, check yourself. Okay, let's just get all the facts here. Let's give a checkup from the neck up, and let's move on. And so in order to have a facilitated discussion with people with multiple points of view, this is what it takes. Sometimes you got to hear certain things, including myself. Like if I hear something that Tucker Carlson said that was racist, I got to say, wow, that's not cool, man. But then I'd also say, have you ever said something that was racist yourself in your life? Have you ever done that? Like when you really check yourself? I'm sure we've all said something at some point or thought something. You know what I mean? So we got to be careful going around, canceling people all the time and our points of view. We're in the right, so we can cancel anyone we want and all these things. It's like it doesn't lead to anything good when we're really trying to be open and have a conversation and hear another person's point of view. Right? There's plenty on YouTube. Yeah, YouTube. Last word here from YouTube speaking. Always enjoy your show. Wish you were on longer. Yeah, we wish it could be possible too, but unfortunately Earshot Daily's coming up and I have to go to work. I'm actually biting into my work time now. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And thank you so much, everyone. Even with all the opposing views to maybe something I think, I welcome that. I love hearing opposing views because that just says, look, we're still allowed to have that kind of a conversation right now. So let's continue it tomorrow. You'll be back Thursday, Billy? Okay, cool.
Sorry, you chopped out there, but I was thinking you're saying goodbye, and so I'll say goodbye to you.
And you're back Thursday, right? You're back on Thursday. Perfect. Looking forward to it. And thanks everyone for commenting, watching, and make sure to like, subscribe, share if it's working. And yes, Facebook did hear my rant yesterday, and we're now up over 4,000 likes. It obviously miraculously gave me 10 likes yesterday when I wasn't getting a like for like 2 weeks. So maybe someone at Facebook felt it in their heart to allow the likes to come through. So thank you. Please continue to do that as we get this conversation out. Have a great day, everyone. Ciao.